Hi, welcome to ADI Technical Training. I'm Matthew. In this series of videos, we are looking at the ADI Pro credentials. In this particular video, I'm looking at how you'd use the ADI Pro proximity cards with the HID USB Omnikey desktop reader. In addition, the hardware I'll be using is a Paxton 682531, the standard net2 controller. Along with that, I'm using a HID Signal reader. I'm using the 00 profile. 00 meaning it's what was multi-class, so it reads proximity and MIFA and iClass and so on, but proximity being key here. If it's an example of an older system, I could be using the old Prox Points or the Prox Pro keypads, as long as the 125 Prox. That's the M of what these cards work on. So let's just have a quick go look at the cards. Now the cards themselves, they're white PVC ISO style cards. They're 26-bit and they're in a H10301 format. Let's just have a closer look at the card. So on the card it comes with some numbers and letters and you can decode it. ADI, that's our brand. H26, so it's in a H10301 format in 26-bit. I means it's an ISO, N means they are numbered. PK25, packet of 25, that's also the part number for the card if you need to order them. In this instance, 099 is the site code, and 1201001 in this case is the credential number, the card number. So when you're adding cards to net2, in this example, when you're adding cards to net2, you can either enter the number into the system, you can learn them through the reader itself, through the wall reader, you can learn it in, or you can use a desktop reader, as I'm going to do, and enroll them in that way, so it's a quicker process. The desktop reader is USB, it's powered via the USB port, but before you can use it, you need to do a little bit of work in advance. You need to install drivers. So to do that, we go over to the HID website, click on support, click on technical support, drivers and downloads, and you can search for Omnikey, or you can just go to this menu here, click on Omnikey. It filters out most of the software links, but what we do need is the CCID driver first of all, and then further down we have the EEM driver. That's the Ethernet adapter, so that generates an Ethernet port, and the CCID is the driver for the reader. So once you click on it and download to your machine in the usual manner, and then install it as you would. Once it's installed, you then plug the reader in and you browse to it. So let's do that. This is its default address, 192.168.6399. It takes you straight to this landing page here. As you can see, mine says there is no password. If you want to change the password or set one up, you can go to System Config and create a password. Once you make any changes, click on Apply Changes. But let's look at it as if you've just landed on it yourself. General overview, you would then go to the keyboard wedge menu and you would enable keyboard wedge. So that makes when the token's presented, it outputs numbers into your application as if you would type it in on the keyboard. So it emulates a keyboard. So keyboard wedge is enabled. Now this reader, they're quite clever. They mainly do output numbers, but you can get them to output letters as well. If you're going to looking at a computer or an application, you want to use this as an enrollment reader. So I've just changed mine to UK. You can leave it as US. It comes as US, but you can change it to UK if you like. So once that's done, we then need to go to Card Data Selection. You have a pull-down menu here. We need to go to HID Prox AWID, which is the FSK Prox option. Make sure it's enabled. Make sure the data field's enabled. And we just need to create a custom rule. And that's go to Pax Custom 1, enable it, offset 9, length is 16. So on a H10301 formatted card, the first 9 digits, the site code and the serial number, they're not much use to us. After that, all the way up to bit 25, is the actual card number. And that's all we care about. In this example, we're showing you how to enroll them in to net2 without a site code. So we don't need the site code or number range. So from 9 onwards, the next 16 digits is what we want to capture. Then go to data manipulation. Again, we're on this line here. Make sure your string format is dec for decimal. It's decimal output. Go to string truncate, enable it, and we're going to say from digit 9 for a length of 5 digits, we want that to be the output. We want that to be the out one, the data one out. So because it's decimal, that's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From digit 9, for the length of 5 digits, we want that converting into numbers. Once that's done, we can then go to system config, and as I said before, apply changes. So that's the Omnikey reader set up and configured. Next, we can go to the net2 software and program that. So let's launch configuration utility with the net2 configuration utility, login in the usual fashion. In the general tag, just enable LED in OEM style. If you're familiar with net2, you know, you just heard my controller beep. This is how you add a controller. This is the TCP. What we're interested in though is the Wiegand tag. Now I've already set mine up. And what we need to do is enable configuration. This will be unticked. Number of bits is 26. And we have to create a little rule here. And this rule here is telling net2 that when a card comes in through the reader, only to give us certain information. And that information is, if you remember, from digit 9 onwards, we just want that information. So D is a parity check. X, as they say at Paxton, X don't care. So we don't care about digits 1 to 9. We're not interested in that information, but we are interested in the token number A. So then it's D, X all the way to 9, and then A all the way to 25. So we're just going to capture the card number. Once that rule's applied, click apply, and the net2 controller will reboot. So let's launch net2. So first of all, what we need to do is go to the door controllers, click on doors, click on the controller we're working on. So mine's already set up. It's really the usual information, the name, door groups if there are any, how long it's open for, and so on. Really what we need to look at here is the reader type. So mine's going to be a Wiegand reader, no keypad, and data token format, token data format is custom, Wiegand custom. If you haven't created your custom rule yet, you won't get that option. You'll only get Wiegand 26-bit or 26-bit with a site code. The custom rule, as we've said, that only reads the card number from digit 9 to 25. If you have 26-bit enabled, it reads all the card number, including the serial code and the parity check, which is actually a number, and it will give you a number that's made up of all those digits, which isn't the number we want. We want the number that's printed on the card. So it's just custom. If you make any changes at the top there, click apply. So let's go to users and let's add a new user. Just to save time, let's go to token number. So the token number on my card is 12018. If I present that to the reader, you might have heard it beep there. If you present that to reader, you can see the numbers come through. And if I give it a name, that was all doors, add user. And there we are. That's the system set up. We have a valid card. I don't know if you hear the controller beep in the background there. Let's go to event log. If I present my card, you can see it comes through on the event log that the card's now being read. So it's quite an easy procedure, and adding and deleting cards will be relatively straightforward using the desktop reader. And there we are. That's the setup of the ADI Pro credentials on a HID Signal reader using the HID desktop reader. Thanks very much for watching. All the products mentioned in this training video can be found on our website. Links are below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much.